victim of the establishment. Do you think that with the online harms bill and digital ID, do you still see the UK as free and democratic?
Absolutely not. And I don't think either of those things are going to help our situation and do anything of any worth, other than suppress free speech and monitor people even further.
So keep fighting, ladies, keep going, keep the pink, and I'm so proud of you all.
Now, as you have a unique view on this, I wanted to get your thoughts on digital ID and if you think that maybe immigration is the real reason that they're bringing it in, or if they did it on purpose in order to bring in the digital ID for control.
I don't think immigration has anything to do with it personally. I think that's an excuse. I think it's just another way of curtailing freedoms and free speech, and I can't foresee that it's going to have any positive impact on an illegal immigration.
Any government would want to have a way to monitor all these very strange people, incompatible people with all these different ways of thinking and being and ideas of their own that are just not compatible with this country.
And now that obviously you're out and you're a free woman, although it's arguable if any of us are really free these days, but has that made you want to push into maybe an activism now? What do you see yourself doing over the next?
I don't think activism is the right word. I would like to use my time to help reform the women's prison service, because I think it's severely broken, and also encourage, not fight, but encourage free speech and encourage our freedoms, because this is not the country that I want my child to grow up in at the moment.
Instead of protecting our daughters, they make excuses and families are left to fight alone. That is unacceptable. And while this is happening, our most vulnerable are being left behind. Disabled children, children with complex needs, families living through heartbreak every single day, stripped of support, stripped of funding and stripped of dignity. Resources are being poured into those who have broken the law while our own children are left to suffer.
If you could say anything to Keir Starmer, what would you say?
He needs to drastically think about his policies and the effect that he's having on a community. At the moment he's causing division, and yet he speaks about being the party of the people. He's not.
A few people have been saying that digital ID, the rejection of it is going to be the one thing that maybe unites the left and the right. Do you see that happening?
I think so, because when the left actually take a step back and understand what it means from a wider perspective with social tracking, look at China. China are putting in 400 million cameras to track people.
Central London saw a lively mix of protest and festivity yesterday as the self-styled Pink Ladies group staged a march from Westminster Station to Downing Street, aiming to send a message to Prime Minister Keir Starmer that they are not backing down. What began as a political demonstration evolved into a more celebratory atmosphere. Marchers in the group's signature pink attire chanted slogans, waved banners, and as the afternoon wore on, danced to music played over portable speakers. Organizers described the event as both a protest and a morale-boosting gathering for supporters concerned about the government's immigration and public safety policies. Prominent speakers included Lucy Connolly, a right-leaning commentator whose appearance drew cheers from the crowd. In brief remarks, Connolly urged protesters to remain vocal, criticizing what she sees as Westminster's failure to address voters' concerns. The demonstration culminated in a return march to Parliament Square, where participants posed for photos in front of the historic buildings they accused of betraying the people. Across the road, a counter-demonstration organized by Stand Up to Racism unfolded, featuring placards with slogans such as "Women Against the Far Right." Some Pink Ladies supporters accused the group of trying to mimic their branding, while counter-protesters said they were highlighting the dangers of intolerance and division. The contrasting events reflect the increasingly polarized nature of Britain's public debate on immigration, women's safety, and political expression. While the Pink Ladies describe themselves as a grassroots movement standing up for ordinary citizens, critics accuse them of fanning hostility and echoing far-right rhetoric. Metropolitan Police reported no major disturbances, though officers maintained a visible presence to keep the two groups apart. The day's events highlight both the energy and the fault lines shaping contemporary protest movements in the UK. As Westminster weighs new policies on migration and public safety, the competing rallies on Whitehall signal that the struggle over Britain's political and cultural direction shows no sign of cooling.
I think it'd be very popular.
It wouldn't be popular at all. Well over 2/3 of the public support the move to net zero and are anxious that the government takes action on climate change. Everybody can see the wildfires happening across Europe. They've seen the floods happening, the storms happening elsewhere in the world, and people are rightly concerned for their own future and for the safety of this country moving forward. So I don't really understand who Kemi Badenoch's trying to appeal to. I was just looking at recent polling taken in March by YouGov. 24% of people don't support moves towards net zero, which means that 3/4 of the public do. So I've no idea who she's trying to achieve, what she's trying to achieve here. It's not going to make her popular. It's not going to win her any votes, and it's also absolutely the wrong thing to do for the country and indeed for Europe and for the planet as well.
But Mike,
So,
when people are then asked,
she's also going against public opinion.
But when people are then asked, are they willing to fork out for net zero, the polling results are very, very different. And this is the point that Kemi Badenoch's trying to make, isn't it? That most people agree we should be trying to reduce our emissions and preserving the climate for the next generation. But what is much more difficult to understand is why we, the UK, who is vastly ahead of most of the world on reducing our emissions, should ruin our economy and raise our cost of living in an effort that's frankly inconsequential compared to what's happening in India and China.
Of course, what we do is not inconsequential at all. What we do is incredibly important. It's incredibly important because we are a big emitter. We're a wealthy country. We emit far more per capita than most countries do, and that's been the case historically. It's wonderful that we're a global leader. We've always led on the world stage in many, many things. We led on the world stage when we established the Industrial Revolution 250 years ago. We led on the world stage when we opposed the Nazis. We've led on the world stage recently when it comes to Ukraine. We are a leading nation in the world, and it's right that we play that role. We're also a very influential nation. Other countries do look to the UK and think, what's the UK
hang on, Mike, can I just interrupt? Do you think China and India are going to think, Britain are doing their net zero, we'll do it too? You really think they're going to do that, China and India?
China's doing a huge amount on this. In fact, they're doing far more than the rest of the world. I mean, it's going to take them a long time to get there, but they're making huge strides towards this. I mean, this is also an economic argument. China's recognised their need to do this for their own environment and their own people, but they've also recognised this is the direction of travel for the future economy in the 21st century, 22nd economy. They're seeking to own this in terms of solar panels, in terms of electric vehicles, in terms of all the technology that's going to go into the future. If we don't take part in that, we're going to destroy our economy for this century, for the next century. If we like trying to win this race, then we're stupid. Which, if we go back and try and live in the 20th century, with carbon producing vehicles and energy infrastructure, we're just going to lose the battle for the future, and that will consign our economy to irrelevance, but also it will consign, the future of this country to economic irrelevance as well.